Hey YouTube, it's your girl Chic from Chic Say What. I'm coming on tonight with just some updates. I want to talk about a couple of things pertaining to Cynthia G. I listened to her today and she, had some things to say pertaining to her name circulating, out here in the YouTube streets. And I'm on here late because I just kind of came from listening to an interview that Crystal and Carrison of the Pink Pill brand did with another content creator, just kind of telling her side of the story, how she's feeling with everything. It's really a lot, you guys. So before we get started, if you can, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you'll know when I'm going live. But we're going to get into it. So let's start with Cynthia G. Today I did listen to her a little bit, and she expressed still, her total confusion as far as her name coming up or being in CK's mouth about whatever. Apparently, CK has said, I guess, according to Cynthia G is alleging that CK has said that she's taken, I guess, some of her content ideas have come from a woman by the name of Kendall St. Charles. I never heard of this woman, Kendall St. Charles. So I started researching her to kind of see, like, who is this woman? So Cynthia G's like, I don't know who Kendall St. Charles is. I've kind of heard her name thrown out there, but like, I've never watched any content of this woman. I don't know who she is. So the idea of me biting any of my material from her, like, that's just false, because which I've heard Cynthia say a lot of time, if you ever want to fact check her, you can, her videos are always up. So you can just go back and just look at her content and see, like, when she said something, how she said it. Like, I've heard her say that multiple times on her platform. So her thing is like, okay, what I'm speaking today, I've been speaking this for a minute. Now, granted, when I first came on this YouTube, came into like the YouTube world, I was not speaking the language of basically black men's this, they ain't no good. They not doing this. They not doing that third. She admits that that wasn't the language that she was speaking when she first came on the scene. I will say when I first became introduced to her, I only knew her as being that black woman that was more so talking out about just the negative things about the black man. So I guess by the time I came along, she kind of had switched gears. I think she said she kind of switched maybe about around 2017. And prior to then, I think she maybe came on scene maybe around 2015. She said she don't like to call herself pro-black, but she was in support of the black man, like, period. Like, but she said she never called herself pro-black, but she switched gears. And when she switched gears, her lingo it started to change. And then it became what we know her today as far as how we hear her go in, on the black man and their shortcomings. Now, I've heard somebody in my comments say, oh, well, Cindy don't talk about all black. I don't know. Whenever I hear her, it's like, I feel like she lump them all in the bucket. Like, I never really hear her separate, okay, this quality of black men's, but I don't know if I don't know what that person means when they say, that she maybe only talk about a certain type of black man, because she just says usually her language is the black man pathology. So to make that statement, it's a blanketed to me. So I just took it as though that's just how she felt about just black men collectively. And it's not like anything like positive. But anyway, back to what she was saying. She's like, I have been on this thing with talking about black men and their shortcomings for a minute now. And my my position changed as far as how I start to look at Black men as a result of my own personal experiences. It wasn't because, okay, someone else was out there speaking a certain language or to jump on a bandwagon. She said, based on her life experiences, that's what resulted in her kind of switching gear and started speaking on Black men in the way in which she does today. So from my research, this woman, Kendall St. Charles, Kendall St. Charles speaks much of like the same language as CK. It seems like, you know, she's older than CK. She's been on the scene for a minute, but she doesn't have a YouTube channel up. So it was kind of hard to really research and find like material out there about her. I don't know if she ever had a YouTube channel. I was seeing like, I found like on the internet in general, different like Lipstick Alley, like different chat boards, blogs where people was kind of speaking comments about like what they felt about her. But I really didn't find like a picture of her. I did come across someone who was doing like a kind of like a reaction video or a response video to an interview that she did with, I guess it was CK, Kendall, and Chrissy. If any of you are familiar with Chrissy After Dark, I think that might be her YouTube channel. Chrissy's also someone I subscribe to. Chrissy preaches a lot on divestment. Apparently this woman, Kendall, also kind of talks about divestment, but the interview that I was listening to, or the part that this content creator, you know, shared on her channel, Kendall wasn't talking about divestment. She was just talking about the history of the Black man going back to like the 1960, 65, when civil rights when there was a shift. And, you know, from that, the Black man kind of started going after the white woman, and then with intent wanting to kind of paint the Black woman in a different light. So therefore nobody would want her. So she kind of went down this whole rabbit hole of Black women being intentionally set up from a almost like a systematic level to be painted as a bad look, you know, starting from having us in movies playing prostitutes, or having us in movies where we have more of a more of aggressive demeanor, or we don't have a man. So basically, she just talks about how the negative image of the Black woman was really prompted by, you know, really the Black man just not wanting the Black woman to kind of look good in a positive light to better support them wanting to go and do other things. She also even talked about, which I've heard this before, but I don't know if it's true or not, in Martin Luther King Jr. being in love, or I don't know if he had a side chick that was a white woman and he couldn't really come out and acknowledge that or try to make a life with her just because of his position in the civil rights. I mean, how that look, you on the front line for Black people, but you laid up with Becky at home. So that was kind of undercover, but I'd heard that before. Don't know if that's true or not, but you know, I'm just saying things that she talks about. So in comparison to CK, yeah, they speak very similar lingo. This interview that, you know, Kendall that I had done with Chrissy, I don't know when that interview was done, because when I went to Chrissy's channel, that interview wasn't there anymore. But the content creator whose channel I watched it on and listened to pieces of that interview, that was done last year, sometime like a year ago. But I don't know if she kind of was doing a reaction video shortly after they did that interview, or if some time had passed. So that interview could have possibly taken place as early as like a year ago. But Kendall, you know, apparently from my research, she believes in, you know, divestment. So I don't know if she's, you know, rocking with a white man or what, but she says she was born in, I think, 72. So that when I did the math on that, she's about like 49. So yeah, she's definitely older than CK. But CK's like, I don't know who this woman is, but I want to meet. I want to talk to her. Sis, we need to meet. We need to talk, because if the narrative is going around that what I preach has come from you, I need to talk to you. I need to understand if that's what you truly believe, because I didn't come across anything in my research where Kendall was on record of saying such a thing that, Cynthia bit off of me. I didn't see that. But, when you hear CK's name, mixed up in all this drama lately, it's connected with the Kendall woman's name. So sounds like also, let's discuss my personal life. It's not your business. Everybody been talking about, hey, if I have kids, how many kids I got? Are they single? Am I just mad? Because she was like, first of all, she said, I will never confirm if whether or not I have children. Point blank, period. She's like, I'm not giving y'all that. That's my personal life. That will never, she said, that will never be confirmed by me. So she was calling she kept referring to it as a rumor. Yeah, the rumor of me having kids. So to me, when you throw out rumor and it's being used by her, that's her basically, to me, saying, okay, it's not true, I don't have kids, and she's calling it a rumor. She didn't say people are, or are alleging that I have kids. She said rumor. So I'm like, okay, so I kind of peeped that choice of words she used, rumor. But I think someone in one of my lives came on one time before and said that she had a baby, I think by some guy named Robert something. I think he go by Rob. But I remember about 3 years back hearing that she had gotten pregnant by this man who had multiple children. So when I'm hearing there's a man out there allegedly, I think he's a content creator, he had maybe like 5 kids when she got with him, and then she had the 6th child. So that's what's alleged out there. But on her platform, from what I listened to today, if you want to go check out her content, and this is Cynthia G, you can kind of hear it for yourself. She didn't co-sign or confirm anything, and she said she's not. So it is what it is on that. So that's the update as it pertains to Cynthia G and her connection with CK. The parts I listened to the interview, she did not mention CK's name. She just was talking about, but it was a long, recording that she had. I only listened to parts of it. She just was adamant about not knowing who this Kendall person is. So she had some other content creators on the live with her that were saying that, I think one of them was the Manosphere. I believe she might be familiar with who Kendall St. Charles is, but she was saying, and I think it was a caller or somebody that called in. So I don't know if, that woman also familiar with Kendall St. Charles, but they talked about maybe people assuming that, Cynthia material came from that woman just because it kind of speaks, it's like the same pathology, like their mindset is the same, but it could be a mere coincidence, because I sometimes come across material, like just today or doing my research, I came across like material and there was like someone or some people like using similar lingo or whatever that I use, but I'm like, okay, I've never seen this person before. So I know I didn't take it from that person. So I don't know where so you just never know, sometimes people kind of come up with similar thoughts, ideas. Again, it's about life. And I mean, these words we use, we not just inventing what they say, reinventing the wheel. So it's very plausible that somebody can kind of come on board and start speaking kind of the same or similar things as you. And they had no clue that just yesterday you said the same thing. Like, think about it. It can just be, we just feel the same way about a particular matter of subject, like nothing more than that. So Cynthia is like, I don't know this woman, but I'm telling y'all now, I want to speak with this woman, period. So hopefully it gets back to the Kendall that, hey, Cynthia would like to talk. I don't know if Kendall has removed herself from the radar. I did see on some of the blogs, like on Lipstick Alley, that Kendall did have a Facebook page. So I don't know if she never really had a YouTube page, but somehow her name has floated around for people to know who she is. So I don't know if she don't have a YouTube channel. I couldn't find her on Facebook. when I did my little general search, it was a white woman that came up that said Kendall. So I'm like, okay, well, that's not her. So if any of you in the comments, anybody, you know anything about Kendall St. Charles, feel free to drop that, because I was like doing like this extensive research on her to prepare for this video. And I'm like, I can't really find a lot. I just seen content pertaining to people's opinions of her, but not really anything where I was able to see or get like facts from things coming directly from her. I did learn that I guess she developed this series called Cleanup Woman series. So from what I'm seeing, I guess that just more so just consists of just the, the image of the Black woman, the image of the Black man. It was just a whole series. So like I said, I couldn't really find anything concrete on this one. It's like, it's this mystery. And like, so when I went to Chrissy's channel and did a search for an interview with her, it didn't come up. So it's like, I don't know if she removed it, but the content creator I was listening to that was kind of doing a reaction to that interview that the ladies had CK, Crystal, and Chrissy, she said it had a lot of views. She was like, it was like when at one point, like the last time she had looked at it, was like 20 million views. So it was something that was heavily circulated. Like I said, when I went to Chrissy's channel, it wasn't there anymore. So I'm like, okay, what happened? Who is Kendall St. Charles? It really has me like really interested in wondering, who is this woman? Have you guys heard of this woman? I did not hear of this woman's name until this drama broke with CK. Even going back to my first video, I knew there was another name associated with CK, but at the time I was doing that live, I could not think of her name because like it was a name I had never heard of. So I didn't mention it to you all, but I did. I knew that it was another woman that was tied to the whole drama of, okay, apparently or allegedly, CK and Kendall are accusing Cynthia G of faking it, stealing contact, things like that. So fast forward to right before I started this live. One of my subscribers dropped me a link for an interview that CK did with another content creator. So I was like, okay, I need to hear, because remember I've been saying, sis, we need to hear from you. Like right now, we assuming things, and you guys, we all know how that go when people get quiet. People start making up their own story. Like, you better talk, because if you don't talk, I'm about to make up I'm about to make up a whole story. So it's either you gonna step up and say something, or I'm gonna create a bestseller. And from listening to the interview with CK and this content creator, folks created bestsellers, because what I came to you all saying, what I was hearing in these streets as far as what popped off, about 95% of that information didn't line up to what sis said in her interview with this other content creator. I'm just going to tell you now. So when she came on, the live, she sounded tired and drained. She said her body had been, aching and hurting her, stress, just, tense. So, she talked about that. She said, she was supposed to have been getting her first vaccine shot or whatever, but that, that didn't happen because she's been under the weather. Like, she just doesn't feel well right now. So like I said, she sounds very drained, very beat. I've never heard her sound this way. So she talked about how she posed a question to people on the live. It was maybe about 600 people on the live apparently at that time. She was like, hey, let me know if you guys just don't even want to hear from me anymore, or even Kendall, like y'all just like, y'all forget y'all. I don't even want to hear what y'all got to say anymore, because that's the energy she's feeling from people. And the people in this live, they were like, no, yo, we need you out here. So they were kind of like, no, like, we understand, yeah, take a break, but we don't want you just to be removed from YouTube, and just, we don't want you to do that. She said that it really bothers her that she's getting so much flack from everything that went down, and it's coming from people who she been like, let's just say in particular Black women who she been going hard for. So her thing is like, how is it that I've gone hard for Black people the way I have, and right now they're coming at me so hard to where I just don't even know what to do or think. Like, y'all, like she's like I'm like messed up from this. Like, y'all, like I don't understand. If I need to just leave and just be gone, like I will do that if that's what y'all want. Because she was like, I don't know if she recently went slap off and maybe I don't know, she maybe was on a Clubhouse or whatever, but she talked about, I guess, a conversation and her showing a lot of emotion and things like that. And she was just talking about how it came from a lot of build up. She said people come for her a lot. She's like, people come for me a lot, but I don't react. She's like, my personality is, and I can relate to it because, you know, I have a personality where I'm not quick to react to things, but it's the buildup for me, you know, so that becomes dangerous. My mom would always talk, hey, stop keeping things in, stop keeping things in. You got to let it out. So I'm better with that, but I know what it is to kind of take in a lot of things and then impact you emotionally. And you just try to keep striding. And then one thing happened. It can be like something minute and you just blow up. So apparently, I guess she had an experience kind of like that or whatever, where she blew up or whatever. So I didn't hear, you know, because it's a long kind of live or interview that she was having. So I kind of had to jump off because I had set this live to come to you guys with an update. But she talked about just, I guess people been coming at her so hard and have been so disrespectful to where she finally kind of just blew up. Like, what the? So in this video, the content creator, so I don't know, have you guys heard of this gentleman, this man named Julius? He's been interviewed. I think Tanya TKO, I think she might have talked to him on her channel. This content creator that I was looking at the interview on, he talked to the guy. Julius is the Black man who got the show, who got it on and popping, y'all. Julius is a whole Black man, y'all, who literally, so let me just tell y'all what happened. This is Crystalline's version of what happened, and Julius is recorded by this content creator who I was interviewed with, acknowledging that this is what happened. Y'all, I heard it for myself. That day on Clubhouse, when things was kind of going down with everybody talking, Crystalline wasn't even there, y'all. Crystalline wasn't there. It was a Clubhouse, on one of the, what do you call it, stage. It was a stage. Mr. E was there. Somebody allowed this Black man, Julius, to come on to the stage. If any of you are familiar with Clubhouse, if you want to say something, you'll be invited, or you can request to come on the stage and speak. So the man wanted to speak. He got on the stage and called Crystalline an N-word. Remember, I said Crystalline was not there. That's not what I was saying that I was hearing in my previous videos, right? If any of you heard them, go check out those videos. So therefore, it'll kind of help you make sense of what I'm talking about today. She said, Mr. E was there, Julius, Black man. He got on stage and started being disrespectful and told Mr. E, CK is an NB. You know how people that N word followed by the B word. I never understood that combination of why people call a Black woman that. But he told Mr. E, Crystalline Karazin is an NB. Let me look at my notes, make sure I get this right. Mr. E responded and said, when he said she's an NB, and then he told Mr. E, you're an N lover. because remember he said, look, your woman is an NB, so you're an N lover. Mr. E responded, y'all, saying, quote, okay, I will be that then. Drop the mic. Where the heck we get from, let me calm down. Where do we get it from that he said, okay, well, I guess I am an N lover then? That man did not say that. Doesn't it make a whole difference with saying, okay, I will be that then, to, okay, I am an N-word lover then? Y'all take that in. Y'all mean to tell me that folks created, I call it a bestseller that has resulted in this woman removing her whole channel because somebody then went out there and created a whole story that was false. So after Julius left that room, he went into another Clubhouse room and said, yeah, I was in that other room and I called her an NB. I said what I said and I stand by it. Mind you, Mr. Julius has admitted that this is how it went down. I said what I said and I stand by it. So when asked, well, why would you say that? Well, he a white man and he come from, he had white parents and stuff. So I'm pretty sure they said the N-word, so he made a whole assumption that because he's a white man, well, I'm sure they use words like that anyway. So that's why I felt like it was okay for me to do what I did. So no, I don't feel like, I'm wrong or nothing. I just felt like he just looked at his life. And how about this fool? This man said that prior to getting on that club, he was like, yeah, and I had just finished watching 12 Years a Slave, y'all. This man got in his feelings after watching a movie and jumped on Clubhouse and showed his behind. He was in his feelings after watching a movie, y'all. Y'all, I got true story. I used to work with a guy, black guy, had a white wife. He said after he had watched Django, he was watching it with his wife. He said he developed a whole attitude to her. And I think he said he didn't talk to her for like 3 days. Make it make sense. True story. I said, what? He said, yeah. He said, we was watching Django. Mind you, his wife was a whole white woman. He was one of those black men where, have you ever talked to a black man, like where, like, you don't even get, they seem so pro-black and then to learn, that their wife is like something else. Like, it was one of them kind of situations. Kind of like how I was really surprised when I learned that Donald Glover's wife was white. Like, I was like, what? Because I love the show Atlanta. If any of you ever watched that great show, me and my husband love that show Atlanta. But remember, he had came out with that hit song. Is that called This Is America? Love that song. And I learned, his wife is white, and but you never really would see him out with her. And I think the only picture I've seen him with her is like maybe paparazzi caught them together, and I think maybe she was pushing maybe a baby carriage or something like that. And then here's the thing about that, listen, I'll go back to CK, but with Donald Glover, he had did an interview on the Breakfast Club some years back. So when it came out about his wife, being a white woman, of course, I guess Breakfast Club being petty, put that interview back up, so it was on the YouTube. So I watched it. Do you know this man talked about at this time, this is pre-Becky. He was like, I'd never be able to be with a white woman because I wouldn't even know what I would even be able to talk to her about. Huh? Listen, I said, I know one thing. I bet you Donald Glover would never grant another interview for Breakfast Club again because you were literally legit on their platform. I think when I did the calculation, that interview was maybe about 6 years prior to when he got with his wife or something like that. When I did the math, because y'all know me, I be digging. And I'm like, how you on this platform Because at that time he was like a comedian. And so that's kind of how he started out. Any of you didn't know, like, I think he started out like in comedy, doing like stand-up. So, but yeah, he was like, I would never be able to be with a white woman. I wouldn't even, what would I be able to talk to her about? And I hear a lot of black people say things, like that. So him saying that, it makes sense. But to see that in the present, his whole situation is what it is. I'm like, what? So it was on that tip as far as with my coworker, where he was kind of one of those type of brothers to where he would be chasing after me and any other beautiful black woman around the office. And then I learned that he married to Becky. What you doing over here in my face, her face, looking over there when you got Becky over here? And where's your ring, sir? Confusion, you guys. Straight confusion. So back to Julius. He said he admitted he got into his feelings, y'all, because he had just watched the movie. So bro was like, anybody can get it. And that day, Mr. E got it. And now here we are, where Crystalline is now trying to rebuild, I guess, per se. I cannot. Like, really, dude. And if you probably go to TK, Tanya TK's old channel, you can probably see what he looks like, because on her thumbnail, she has a picture of a black man. I think he has a hat on. So I haven't listened to her talk to him. I've seen like the headline of her video. But his name is Julius, and he has been on record to admit kind of what went down. And it's what I was telling you guys. And you guys can go out there and, find it for yourself. But Mr. E did not use the N-word, fam. Hey, Dalton, how many black women would even want Donald Glover? Dalton, I feel like a lot of times that is the narrative behind black men being with non-black women. And it's two parts. I feel one. Okay, so let me start by saying, a lot of times when I see a black man with a black man with a non-black woman, and just by looking at him, me being a woman, I can kind of tell that when he was younger, before he became who he was, he probably wasn't that sought after black man. Like, I can just pick up just the energy, just what I see or hear what women talk about as being what they're attractive to, just from your, the features, skin color, things like that. So I conclude that I bet you back prior to this person getting on, that black women wasn't checking for that black man. Like, I just form these thoughts. Sure enough, usually if I'll hear them do an interview and they're honest, they'll say it. The first person I heard honestly would speak honest and say it was what's his name? He played in Best Man. Wow, his name left me. Let me see, try to figure out what his name is. But he's the first person. Tay Diggs, there it is. Tay Diggs said, "Oh, black girls was not checking for a brother back in the day." He said that. He said they weren't. They were not checking for me. And when I look at Tay Diggs, I don't think he's a bad looking man, but when I look at him, I'm not going to say, no, he's lying. I'm like, okay, I can see that. So he said when he met his wife, she was interested in him, and it went from there. So what I think is that so that is the black man experience. Then they get with that one white woman, and it's like they don't veer away from that. How often do we see the black man go with the white woman and then he circle back around to the black woman? Have you guys ever noticed that black men who are successful, let's just talk about the ones that we have the presence, like your entertainers, like Jeezy, Lil Wayne. Have y'all ever noticed that their older kids, their kids that they made before they got put on, are by black women? Then you notice that once they get put on, the features of that woman changed, then it turns into maybe from the dark Black woman to maybe a fair-skinned Black woman. Then you'll eventually see the transition to where it's completely removed from the Black race, period. Like it's a transition. Do a search on Jeezy and his oldest son, what that woman looked like. Look at the next woman he got with, what she looked like. Keisha Cole was thrown up in there too. It's about 4 or 5 of them before Jeannie Mai that he got with. But you'll be able to see as they get lighter and lighter and more removed from the Black culture. It is what it is. So I feel like, as we see a lot of times with the Black, like with what they say with Kanye's song, when you get put on, you lead a Black woman and get you a white woman. We see that happen. A lot of successful Black men, we see the first starter woman they were with was a whole Black woman. Lil Wayne, his ex-wife was a whole Black woman. Like, once he started making money, you start seeing all kinds of other stuff. I want to say Ray Janae probably the only babe child he got that's by a Black woman. Y'all can look that up, but I believe Ray Janae is the Lone Ranger. So it's like, okay, I can believe that there was that time when a Black woman wasn't checking for you, but I personally feel like it's an excuse when you still choose to stay removed from the Black community later on down the line. At that point, you just don't have love for a Black woman. Dalton, you say when you get more money and you get access to spaces that are more diverse, I can see that. But here's the thing. Remember, I talk about on my channel that I'm all for if you want to dip and dab here and there. But when you completely leave your community, that's on a whole nother level when you're not even seeing a person even show back up on the scene with somebody from their cultural group because they've elevated. So they're not looking back. Do you ever think, let's just say Ice-T and Coco, if they were to ever, how is it that Ice-T was on this F the police, just anybody who knows his history would not think of today him having a wife that looked like Coco based off of Ice-T and his journey. Do you think if he and Coco were to ever go splits that his next woman would be a Black woman? No. So a lot of times once they leave that Black community, they often don't really look back. They don't look back. They're like done. And as I see that the more money they get, the more removed. It's not even about getting a light-skinned Black woman anymore. At that point, it's like, shit, I want me something exotic. Who used that word before? I hear celebrities use that exotic, 50 Cent. Who else used Kodak Black? Like where they'll throw out these terms. Like Kodak Black said, I can't be with no Black woman that like me. Our kids gonna be. I need to be able to see our kids. Our kids gonna be too Black. Like he legit has gone on a platform. I think he was on the Breakfast Club when he said that some years back, that he can't do nothing with no dark skin, Black woman. Those were like, that's how he felt. That's how a lot of them feel. He was just bold enough to say it on such a large platform. So it is what it is with that. But like I said, that whole narrative have been thrown out there pertaining to Mr. E and CK and, Mr. E using the N-word. And like, it's like, she wasn't even there. How did we even get here when the woman wasn't even there? And the thing she's saddened about is that she said people will believe Julie is this person that they don't even know over her, who got a whole brand and a history of showing supports for them. Make it make sense. How can overnight somebody you don't even know come in and just shut the whole shop down? That's the part that has her messed up. Like, how is that even possible? Y'all know me. Y'all can follow what I stand for. Julius just popped up on the scene because bruh just watched 12 Years a Slave. And he's saying everybody can get it. Because I didn't like that scene right there where that white man did that to that Black man. So you know what? Everybody can get it. And that's the energy he had. How you going out in the world just wreaking havoc over a movie, over watching some actors? What the? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. So I have to just as a responsible content creator, have to come on here and talk to you guys about this and just let you guys know what she is saying. Because I've been saying, sis, we need to hear from you. So if any of you familiar with Jessica X, I know she did a live. She's been doing a couple of live, like myself, talking about it. But Jessica X is definitely no support of anybody a part of the divestment community. So she's really been sticking it to, to Crystalline regarding the whole situation. But Jessica X was in the comments on this live, the live that I was listening to. And she was kind of challenging her and asking her questions about things and telling her, okay, well, if you're saying that what the narrative that's put out there isn't true, if y'all saying y'all got the recordings of what's been said or Julius admitting to whatever, y'all need to drop the receipts, period. So that's what took place. And the content creator had somehow was able to speak to Julius on the phone. And what I'm telling you, as far as what he said, this is what I heard. It was as far as what he said. He was like, no, I mean, yeah, I said what I said, but I'm sure, that he a white man. So I'm sure his parents are at his home. They said those words. So he presumed. Kristen was like, Mr. E, not even, first of all, he's Canadian. He was like, his parents don't even come from America. Like he don't even come from the coach. Like he's not even from the US where the slavery was popping and stuff. I don't know where Mr. E parents come from, but I know he's Canadian and he lives, I don't know if he still lives in Canada, but I know he's Canadian. So maybe he's here, since they're dating. I don't know how that works as far as the geographic location, how, if they're long distance. I don't know how that works. But she has said he's Canadian. But she was like, he's not on that no racism tip. So it's like, she's just like, I don't even know if I'm coming back, y'all. Like, I'm drained. I cannot. She's like, I cannot. And sis sound drained. She sound tired. She sound beat down. Like her vibration is low. Like, and I can understand it. And it's a lot when you're somebody who takes that chance to put yourself out there to the public, because guys, I started my YouTube channel like a year ago, pre the pandemic. And it was like a thing I started at the top of the year. You know how you just like, okay, for the new year, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. So I have some old videos out there. You guys can see them. Most of those, pretty much all those videos, I was showing I was just recording, sitting in my room. You guys check them out. See, I'm a whole real person. But I was kind of doing pre-records then. So now I just do lives. It's just easier just from a technical standpoint, as far as I don't have to deal with the edits and all of that stuff. So that's kind of why I do it now. So most of the time, you're seeing my picture, avatar, whatever, but like that's me. But you can go check out some videos and you'll see, me, what I look like. So, but I contemplated on coming back on here because I see the negative energy out there. To me, I feel like during the pandemic, more people were kind of jumping out there on YouTube. And I was just seeing everybody just at each other's throat, and in particular women. And I'm like, wow, like it's just like Tasha K was going at it with some other, the smaller content creators. People were just, I feel like for the sake of just building, likes and clicks, they were just going after just large content creators just so they can get the traction. That's not who I am. I would, it's not in me to try to build myself off of negativity or slander or making it like, that's just not who I am. So I contemplated coming back out here for months before I did. So really legit, I came back out here over a year later after starting my channel. Like I said, I can do lives. So I said, okay, this time around, I'm going to do lives. I want to interact with the people. I want to talk to the people. I'm going to do something different. So that's why I'm here now. And it makes it easier for me to jump on, kick the videos out, jump on, jump off. It was more effort when I was doing like pre-record, since you have to edit and all that. So it's live for me, y'all. But I was like, there was so much popping off in the world, in these YouTube streets. I would tell my husband my opinions of things, but I'm like, I got to get back out there because it's just a lot of foolishness going on. I have opinions, and I want to say probably my first video jumping back out. I wonder, was it on Sha'Carri? Richardson. Remember, the one that was supposed to just come home and bring the gold home for us for the Olympics, and everything just went left. Like, that's what prompted me to say, you know what? I can't remember if I actually came on and did a video on it, but that was what prompted me to say, I'm gonna jump on and talk about that. Actually, no, my first video was on them doggone famous twins. If y'all know about the famous twins, remember the daddy came up dead. Go watch that video. That's some hot mess. And I'm still confused by the situation with the famous twins, with how one twin blamed the sister for the daddy's death because her boyfriend shot him. But they on social media still promoting they face masks and doing make it make sense. Like wearing t-shirts with your daddy picture on it. I'm confused. That's a hot mess story. So if y'all listen, go look at that video about the famous twins. Do your research on them. It's crazy. So it makes me wonder, like, okay, is daddy gone over some foolishness? Listen, the daddy came up dead and one of the best friends of the twins came up dead, all behind some foolishness. And they just living their best life still today on Instagram, on social media. Make it make sense. I had never even heard of these girls until I learned that daddy came up dead behind some mess between the girls. They got into some conflict. It resulted in the death of their dad and the death of one of the best friends and the death of a random man that had nothing to do with it, because when the boyfriend shot and killed the dad, the other ones, I think her boyfriend went and tried to do retaliation to go get him. Bruh then rolled up and he went into the wrong apartment, shot and killed an old man, y'all. I cannot make this up. I think that man was like 70-something years old. Oh, and what do you say? Oh, my bad. Yes. Check that video out. That's the famous twins. That's the one that said, you know what? I can't even talk about Sha'Carri. We need to talk about these famous twins. I probably never even did the video about Sha'Carri Richardson, because them famous twins, that just took me in a whole different directions. That one just kind of had me messed up. So check out that video. But it's a lot of good videos I got out there. So just check them out, y'all, because that's why I was like, I had to come out here, because there's so much going on to where I had to, put it out there as far as my thoughts and feelings about a lot of the things that are going on. As for CK, I just hope that people, from hearing the interview, that they sympathize with her and show her love and welcome her back. And oh yeah, she talked about as far as with Cynthia G and how she still and she encouraged people, hey, y'all go out there. I think Cynthia G got a good message. If that's what you believe, go out there, support her. She feels like people in Cynthia G's corner kind of was feeding her false information. And she's hurt because she said she had a dialogue with Cynthia G telling her, hey, Cynthia G, this isn't true. This isn't true. And Cynthia G was like, okay. But though she look up and see Cynthia G on stages or on platforms with the people who were still saying these negative things about her that she had already told her was not true. So she looked at it as, okay, this is a one-side loyalty relationship, because I told you these things aren't true, but these people over here still pushing it. I think she said that one content creator is accusing her of trying to do something to her and her husband. She did not say the name of the content creator, but it's another content creator that's closely associated with Cynthia G. So you guys can probably figure that out. But she told Cynthia G, that is not true. That is not true. Yes, I've come on your platform. I paid money. I've supported you because I want to see you win. It was for no ulterior motive. So what they're feeding you is just not true. It's not true. And Sin was like, yeah, okay. But she says the way she's seen Sin move, it's like as though, okay, Sin was moving as though she was believing, what the other people that was in her circle was saying. So that's, another layer to it that had CK kind of in her feelings when it comes to Cynthia G. But like I said, when I listened to Cynthia G's live, she didn't the parts I listened to, she didn't mention CK, you know, as far as this most recent live she did. It was long, but she talked about Kendall, and she was like, I want to talk to this woman. But maybe, you know, Kendall will be, you know, open to speaking with her and them just talking about, you know, how things got put out there as far as Cyn G, you know, biting off of her or taking her content or, you know, so like I said, I don't know much about this Kendall woman, so I don't have an opinion of her. Most of the material I was finding out there about her was like people giving their opinion of her. So it was more so opinion related type information. So it's like, okay, Kendall, who are you? So I don't know if she ever was, I don't know how people got to know who she was at one point for people to be familiar with her. But she's not on YouTube right now. So Golden Soul, still not quite sure who is Kendall. Listen, I don't know. I mean, it's just like this woman, but listen, like if you really, she's deep. If you do hear her, let me see who, if I still got it up where I was listening to her at, I guess go to Goddess Vibes. So she's the content creator where she kind of did the reaction video for CK, Kendall, and Chrissy. She's deep, very smart woman. Cyn G is very smart. To me, Cyn G talks about history, but I don't, to me, you know, Kendall was more deep into it. Like she was more almost like a Angela Davis type situation. Like as far as like you ever talk to somebody or hear somebody just speak and they're just very deep with how they speak. It was kind of more on that. Like when I was, let's look on the blogs where people was like calling people who follow her like as though they're a part of a cult, because she goes hard and heavy on what her thoughts are. And as it pertains to the Black man, like, so she definitely doesn't think highly at all of the Black man. And it seems as though like mostly of her feelings pertaining to just the negative impacts pertaining to like the Black culture, like is a result of like the behaviors and things from the Black man. But you got to check it out. So yeah, that, her Goddess Vibes. So that's the content creator channel's name. So you can go there, and the video is titled Listen Up Black Women, Chrissy, Kendall, St. Charles, and the Pink Pill. One-sided loyalty is for suckers. So that's the title of the video, and it was posted June 10th of last year. You can check it out, but Kendall is very deep, you know. So she was saying some things like when she talked about Martin Luther King Jr. and him low-key having a side woman, like really truly been in love with a white woman. Like I've heard that before, but like, you know, she was just spitting a lot of information that she just was saying, like it's just a lot. She was just saying a lot. And so she got a hard, firm stance on her feelings and opinions. So, you know, you can go check it out, you know, and form your own opinions. Seeking freedom. What? Yeah. Yeah, she was saying so much stuff pertaining to just the Black man. Like she went down the path that talked about the history of just like from, I think she said 1960, 65, when the civil rights movement took place. That's when the number of Black women being married, that number went down. And the number of Black men being married went up because they started marrying white women. So she said the percentage of like the Black men married to the white women was like maybe 1.4%. Then she said so let's just say from like 1965 and you jump up to like current years, I think she might have did it up to 2020. She said it was like 20% Black men, you know, married to white women. And then I think she was saying that data didn't even include maybe the ones that were in relationships with non-Black women, but they were married. But it's real deep. Y'all got to check it out. Like, see, so I would love for like her and Sanji to collaborate. It's kind of like a meeting of the minds. Like, I'm all about like people kind of coming together, because to me, there's enough space out here for everyone. Like, you don't have to be fighting for, like, you can subscribe. How many of us are subscribed to multiple people? Like, just because you subscribe to me don't mean you can't subscribe to, sis over there. Like, that's not how this thing works. And it's just like crabs in a barrel. I don't know. It's just kind of like that vibe going on right now. So she seems to have a whole lot of respect within the community, because Chrissy says she and Pink Pill basically started the Black women empowerment movement. Yeah, like I said, when I went to Chrissy's channel, I didn't see that video on there. Is it still out there? Because like I said, somebody was doing like a reaction video. So that's kind of how I seen it. But when I went to Chrissy's video, because I want to go to her video and just see the full video, like when I did a search in her videos, I didn't see anything come up. And I just did my search by Kendall's name, seeing if anything would come up with her name. And I didn't see anything come up. So you have to let me know if you've seen it on her page or if she's removed it. We'll definitely look into her. Yeah. Check her out. Seeking freedom. I'll need to see proof of the MLK stuff. Listen, that's the whole, I'm with you on that. Like, but I will say that's not the first time that I've heard someone say that before. I can't remember where I heard it from, but I've heard it before. I think it was a man. So I don't know if it was Umar Johnson. Somebody said it before. So yeah, so that's alleged out there. So I don't know. A lot of like what Kendall was saying, like if you do your research, the information's out there. So, I haven't stopped to try to research anything she said. I just was trying to get an understanding of like who she was. So basically, everything that I'm saying, it's alleged, of course, but that's what she's saying. So you guys kind of got to look into that one. Our research. Yeah. I mean, that's what we all have to do, is do our own research. And basically, even with this situation with CK, like, it's just like not enough research. Like, I don't know. I don't even think it's coming down to the research being done as far as with that narrative thing going around about what happened. I think somebody just intentionally put out just a false story about what went down with the whole situation on Clubhouse. And it's unfortunate that CK didn't put her version. I don't know if she did or not, but I don't know if she right away jumped on and put her version out. I didn't hear that. So I don't know how she responded immediately following when the incident happened. To, how you got to get in front of something. Y'all ever watch what was that? Olivia Pope in the what was that Scandal? Olivia was just about jumping in front of stuff. Like, this was like an Olivia Pope moment, y'all. Like, I don't know if CK kind of waited too long to kind of get out there and say, okay, no, this is the truth. Because listen, I'm just now hearing about this side of her story. This interview she did, I think it was posted yesterday, but this incident happened several days ago. So I don't know if she maybe messed up by like waiting too late to kind of get out there and say, no, before we even go there, I'm going to tell y'all the real deal. Like, I don't know what that was about. I don't know. It's because she felt like she didn't have the proof from the recordings, and other people started interviewing the guy and they got the proof. So she felt like, well, I don't have any receipts to show proof, because Clubhouse isn't, something that's recorded, I don't think, So I don't know if she just felt like, well, I don't have any receipts. I don't know how she handled it right away. Because like I said, when I was doing my videos in the last couple of days, like I wasn't seeing anything out there where she was kind of giving her side to the situation. Seeking freedom. Yeah. What's up with the white boyfriend dropping the N-word? Yeah. As I started out with this live with saying he did not say the N-word. The black man, Julius, has admitted, like, and said, what went down. Another content creator had a recorded conversation with them talking about, okay, what exactly went down. And basically what went down was there was a Clubhouse room CK was not there. Mr. E was there. Julius was invited to come onto the stage. When he was invited to come onto the stage, he told Mr. E, CK is an NB. The N word followed with the B word. You know, that combination that a lot of times, more often than not, you hear non-Black men use. Don't know why they choose to put those two words together, but it's usually a white man that say that. Mr. E then said, okay, I will be that then. End of quote. Remember, we've been hearing that he said the N word. He did not say that. Julius is on record on a recording saying what went down and acknowledging that this is what happened. He said he got in his feels because he had just watched 12 Years a Slave. Yeah, marinate on that as I proceed to read through the comments. I can't. After he made that comment in that room, he left that room and went into another room because he probably got kicked out of that one. He went into another one and said, yep, I said what I said. Yes, that's what I said. And then, remember, there's a recording with him being interviewed. Well, don't you think that was bad? That you shouldn't have said that. That was insulting. Well, I mean, he's a white man and he got white parents. So I'm sure they're back. They're at home sitting on the couch or whatever in their environment using the word. So that's how he justified it being okay. Well, I'm sure they use the word anyway when they refer to, you know, Black people, Black women. So I just watched 12 Years a Slave and everybody can get it. As I say, I can't make this stuff up. Yeah, what's up with the white boyfriend dropping that? We talk JTB more Atlanta. Google Kendall St. Charles Blue Goddess Group. Brooklyn Blue ATO disappearing. Ask Kendall's content is underground and probably behind paywalls. Okay. And I can see that being the case because when I did listen to her speak, you know, from pieces from the interview with Chrissy and CK, she's very deep. So I can see that, you know, she's kind of underground. I can see that. It makes sense. You know, if you've heard her speak, you like, yeah, to me, she gave me like Umar Johnson vibes, you know, if you all hear about how he speaks about the Black community, how passionate he is, how he talks about the white man and all that, her energy kind of matches like his. So yeah, that's kind of how I felt about her. So it's just sad because right now, you know, Crystalline, she's in her feelings because she's like, okay, it was lies about what was put out there with Mr. E saying the N-word. People have chosen to take those lies, run with it, and believe Julius, this man they've never heard of before. And me, somebody who have some type of history and credibility, they're choosing to not believe in me. So it's like a slap in the face to her. So she's just questioning just whether or not her value to people. And she's like, do I even need to be out here? Y'all let me know because I'll just stay gone. I don't like, that was what she was asking in this interview to the people, you know, on the live. It's like 600 people that was listening to that live. And they were all saying, no, you know, we need you here, you know, take a break, get yourself together. Because she said, you know, she hadn't been feeling well. Her body had been hurting, feeling tense. So I imagine it was just kind of from being under stress. But she said she didn't know if she was coming back. I haven't finished listening to the entire interview because I had to jump on here to do this live that's been going on for a little over an hour. And I didn't want to push the time back again. So, but what's most important I wanted to hear was what really happened in Clubhouse. And I did get that. And Julius, if you do a search, I believe like on Tanya TKO, her platform, she talked to him on the phone. And, you know, he stands by what he said. And it's just not the narrative that was kind of put out there. So people are kind of going along with the whole Mr. E said the N-word. But Mr. E's quote was, okay, I will be that then. That's different. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that's different, or do you still feel like, okay, because he didn't say the N-word, so do y'all still feel like it should have been, do you have a problem with his response? Okay, I will be that then. You know, what's your thoughts on that? I personally don't have a issue with his response. To me, he just said, you know how you dismiss somebody? Somebody be like, you know, you're this. Okay, well, I'll be that then. You just go and kick rocks. Like, were you not trying to engage somebody? You just trying to brush somebody off? That's the vibe I get from that comment. So the N-word was never used. Wow. No, it was not. And Julius acknowledges that. He said he was in his fields because he had just watched 12 Years a Slave. Hot mess. A hot mess. So I don't know, you know, if any of you guys are supporters of CK. You know, she don't have her platform up, so it's really no way other than her seeing comments on different people's videos who talk about her story of her knowing how much support. Because I want to see, I got the feeling that in this interview, she was surprised that there were still supporters out there for her, because you know how sometimes the energy of the negativity can kind of overpower the energy of the positivity. So, you know, the person that was interviewing her was like, no, you know, they're saying this, they're saying that, you know, because she wasn't reading the comments. I don't think she was. I think she was. It was delayed with the comments. So, he told her, like, listen, you know, they're saying they want you to remain on the scene. So she was quite, you know, kind of surprised with people still kind of wanting to hear from her, because she had been getting that heat. You know, they just really had been coming at her. So I would say if any of you are a supporter of her or have been, I would say, you know, if you see videos like this or any other content creators and they speaking in a positive light about her, drop a comment showing that you support. Or even if you see a video where somebody's saying negatively, just drop a comment still and say you support, because right now she's not feeling that. I don't know by the time that her interview was done if she kind of changed it up. But the last time I did a search, her channel still wasn't up. Let me do a search, do another one just to see, like, because I just don't see what reason she'd have to not kind of bring it back up if she put her truth out there. So I just did a quick search, and it's not out there. If you guys want to hear like that interview, it was done by he's a nice guy. His name, his channel is called Aya, that's Aaya, and then Mizra, Mizra. He's invited me before with coming on, you know, to his platform and trying to do a collaboration and things like that. He wants to do maybe like a once a week, you know, situation with that. You know, let me know if you would be here for doing something, you know, with supporting with me, kind of doing something like that, with collaborating with other people. Drop it in the comments. But so he's a really nice guy, but that's where the interview is. So if you guys were interested in wanting to check it out and see like for yourself or listen to what she had to say, and the video is called So You Want to Lie on Pink Pew. So go over there, support him. You know, he has more subscribers than me, but he's a growing YouTuber, and he's just all about just support and people coming together, seeking freedom. If it was in the context that you stated, that's a no issue with me. Yeah. So go check out that video for yourself. Like I said, it's titled So You Want to Lie on Pink Pew. If you type that in your search, his video should come up, and it's kind of lengthy. It's 3 hours and 59 minutes. His streams usually be long. He be talking. He let people come on the stage and talk, you know. She starts talking around, let me tell y'all, because I had to kind of fast forward through it to try to figure out like, okay, well, when is she going to start talking so I can kind of get the tea that I needed? So I would say fast forward to maybe about the hour and 30 minute mark, maybe. because I paused it right now at the hour and 43-minute mark. So that's when they kind of were listening to the recording. So, because it's a long video. So go between like around the hour and 30 minutes mark through the hour and 43-minute mark. And you should be able to kind of, you know, hear Crystalline talking about like the lies that Julia told that he was like admitting that he did. So for me, even if he said the N-word, I know he shouldn't because of how it is perceived coming from a white man's mouth. But all in all, I just feel that Black men are using it as an excuse to attack people, to attack PP. So, I mean, that's the thing that I've been hearing is like, it's pretty much been like the Black man really mostly pushing that whole narrative. I think it's just because they just not trying to see her. They just don't like that she pushes for women, Black women, to kind of divest or date outside of, you know, the Black culture. So this was like an opportunity to kind of push a narrative that, okay, see, she's with a man that don't even like it's just very unfortunate. So I just said, you guys go out there, listen for yourself, form your opinion, because I didn't have a hard opinion about anything because I felt I hadn't heard from her. So I'm like, I don't really know what's truth, and I wasn't out there in Clubhouse. So I had just basically been putting videos out there to just put out there what was being said. So now that I've heard from her, because if you guys listen to my previous videos, I've just been like, sis, we need to hear from you. We need to hear from you, because if people are putting out this narrative and you're not coming out saying, no, that's not true, you naturally going to think like, well, I guess it is true. Then she ain't came out and said it wasn't. So that's why I felt like she needed to come out and speak. And I was hoping she came out before the weekend was out, which she did. So I'm glad of that. So I'm definitely appreciative of my subscribers with sharing information with me. Please, anything I talk about, anything new that you'd like to share with me for me to talk about, discuss, any updates, let me know, because I want to get the correct information out there. And that's, you know, how I'm getting this information out there, by someone learning, you know, of this, you know, this interview, because it wasn't on her platform. So based off of the title of it, you wouldn't know that there's an interview in there, because I had seen his, you know, I'm a subscriber of this guy and I had seen that video out there, but I just never clicked to watch it. He doesn't have like anything in the title about interviewing her. So when one of my subscribers sent it to me, she actually had tried to send it to me yesterday. So I did a video yesterday, but she didn't send the link or something. She didn't hit the button or something. So I didn't have the tea for you like that yesterday. So that's why I wanted to come back on today. And I just combined it with my update I have for Cynthia G, because it's like the stuff, you know, somehow, you know, is intertwined. So it's more about them being angry about her dating a white man, and a whole lot less about him using the N-word, that part. Like, I wholeheartedly agree. As I say, the Black men take it far harder when we do it versus when they do it. And we know they do it. They've been doing it for eons. Like, a lot of people even talk about, they feel like the Black men push for like integration of things was just so they can have access to the white woman. So I've heard people kind of throw out that narrative. I don't know, but it's like, that's what, you know, some people put out there, that they feel like that was the primary focus when it came to like that Black man pushing for integration, because they wanted to have access to the white man's daughter. So I don't know. I'm just saying, you know, that's just some things that I've heard out there. So I'm just, you know, just putting it out there, you know, y'all, some things I've heard. Seeking freedom. I'd say it's more about her here trashing Black guys and propping you white guys, and people were triggered and was looking for another opportunity to put her in a bad light. They found that opportunity. Listen, if there's a will, there's a way. People will find a way to people will find a way to try to slander you, to try to push you off your throne if they're not here for what it is that you're saying. And it's a risk that you take when you put yourself out there. And that's even when you're a celebrity. We see that happen a lot, where you'll have a celebrity and they'll make a stance or make a comment. And then because of that, you see like it starts to impact like their career. Let's just use Monique as an example, the actress Monique, comedian actress Monique. Like, you know, she feels like she's been blackballed, and much of it is because of her, you know, opinions about certain things and that. So we see that happen. And then when you choose to put yourself out there, y'all, you're taking a risk. And I thought long and hard just when I decided to come back out here, because I factored all that in, and I see how people's lives can be impacted. Like, let's just say Tasha K. I live in Georgia. Tasha K lives out here with me. She's actually in the same county as me. But she says she moved because she was getting like death threats and just all kinds of crazy things was happening. So she had to move. So she doesn't live too far from me. But that's a real thing. And she's one of those content creators where she do a lot of risky things, to me, that puts her more at risk for things like that to happen. So I knew for me and my brand, I didn't want to do that. Like, as far as be somebody that's so quick to put out a story to where I'm going to put out something and make it seem like it's factual when it's not. Like, that just wasn't what I wanted to do. So I kind of fell back. I'm still a subscriber of Tasha K, but I don't follow her. No, like I rarely really even watch her videos, because I'm not completely there with her as far as how she moves, you know, because how she moves does have impacts to other people's lives. So I factor that in with how I move, you know, what I'm doing or what I'm saying, how is that going to impact people's lives? And a lot of that is too why I want to kind of stay away from just celebrity gossip and all of that, because I just wasn't interested in it. But everybody love gossip. That's what people want to hear. So I'm finding myself feeling like I'm kind of going down that rabbit hole, but I'm just trying to make sure that I'm true to myself and I don't get lost in the message, and I still preserve my brand, the brand that I have for myself. I'm not quite sure how many of you guys are listening right now because the numbers be janky, but if you could like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm a smaller YouTuber. I am growing, and I am appreciative of everyone who's come aboard to support and just listen to the content that I put out. So if my energy matches yours and you're here for it, just, you know, show love by just liking, sharing, subscribing. It helps with the algorithm and just getting the word out. Each one teach one, right? Seeking freedom. Well, she trashes black guys and props up white guys. You got to expect you will get smoked for pushing narratives like that. Yes. Yes, because I'm all for, my thing is like, I don't believe in putting down your own cultural group just to uplift another one. I do not believe in doing that. I believe in love who love you. So that's just saying, wherever that is, whatever that may look like, go with it. I'm a black woman. I'm married to a black man. I've been married to a black man for almost 17 years. October 1st will be 17 years. We've been together 21 years. I'm married to a black man. I'm raising black sons, and I have a daughter. So what you wouldn't hear me say is just collectively black men are this, black men are that, because I've never subscribed to putting people in like categories like that. I believe in judging people, you know, by their character, not just lumping them together as a group. So if you're not getting the results that you may want with dating a black man, I believe in, hey, try something new, step out. But if you do see a black man and he got it and he's meeting whatever your standards or requirements is, okay, great. But I don't feel like it's anything wrong if you want to explore another option as well. As I say, black men, if you want to learn what that look like or how to do it, watch the black man. He do it regularly. Hey, Winston, at Golden Soul, black men don't care who black women date. It's black women who get mad when a black man gives his bag to another race. Well, Winston, if that's so true, why do we hear like using Serena Williams as an example, when she got engaged to the white man that she's now what's this? Is he Alexis Ohanian? Black men lost their mind. So are you saying that they didn't care? They lost their mind when she did that. Like, Give me an example of when it was in the reverse, where okay, the black man got with the non-black woman and he got as much heat. I just feel like more heat come towards the black woman when she does it. It's almost like do as I say, not as I do. Black men do it, and we've talked about that in greater numbers than black women. But it's almost like, okay, well, black women, you're not allowed to explore, go up that alley. We can do it, but you can't do it. We want you to continue to stay loyal to us. Make it make sense. I can't understand that, and I haven't had a conversation with anybody for them to help me to understand it. So if you can give me some insight, please, brother, help a sister out. Winston, y'all are projecting. Winston gonna be that old faithful to support the men. I tell you, he was in here earlier when I had a live. Winston be coming through for the men. They can't say they ain't got somebody out here going hard for them. We see you, Winston. Seek and free them. I was trying to correct my okay typos. So we just gotta, we gotta talk. We gotta communicate, and if we're supporting CK, we just gotta, make it present, let people know that like we out here supporting her, and we've heard the truth, and now we're going to kind of backpedal and take back some of the stuff we might have said, but I there's nothing wrong with that, acknowledging or admitting when you were wrong about someone, you had the wrong information. So I'm here to just give the update to say, well, no, that's not what happened, y'all. Like, this is what happened. And this is what Julius is admitting and acknowledging what happened. So you guys, I suggest, I always encourage you guys to do your own research and to see for yourself. Like, okay, Sheik says this happened. Let me go look. Let me go check it out. I mean, that's how you protect yourself for making sure that you got the most current information, or you're not, spewing out, any incorrect information, because put yourself in that situation. Do you want somebody to put out a false narrative about you and your brand, your loved ones? Like, nobody, that's not a good feeling. Nobody likes to be lied on. That's just anybody. Nobody likes to be lied on. So I just feel like when you have a platform, we have to move responsibly. And that's what I'm all about over here, is just moving responsibly in my purpose. I'm just out here to just spread the love, the word, speak positive into our community, and just hope that, like-minded people will find my platform, support, engage, and we just grow. Period. Like, that's it. You guys can probably research Kendall. It seemed like I hadn't seen anyone in the chat talk about that they knew who Kendall St. Charles is. Is that what I said her name is? Kendall St. Charles. Yes, Kendall St. Charles. So research her, because that's who they're trying to insinuate that Sinji bit off of. And Sinji's like, no, ma'am. And then, Sinji has even talked about my energy and me going hard on men don't even have anything to do with a relationship type situation. It comes from, she was like, I was stalked by a black man. I think she said he was portraying himself to be a white man, but he was a black man. She was like, when I seen that a black man was doing that to me, I'm like, I'm out here speaking positive and defending black men, and this is what I've been going through from a black man. Forget this. And that's when she flipped gears. Now, how one black man can result in her doing that, I don't know, but that's the only example she gave. So I don't know if she got other examples of why she did a complete change, but she said it wasn't because of nothing from like a relationship type situation. It was because she was being stalked by a black man. So that's what she said. That's all I got to go by. So if that's her story. That's her story. Who am I to say otherwise? Listen, y'all, I'm just here to report the information. That's all I can do. So I suggest, go check Cynthia out as well to, listen to her thoughts and opinions as it pertains to CK and Kendall St. Charles. She sounds like she's in a better emotional place than CK, because I don't think that people maybe are going as hard on her about whatever issue they got about her than, than the people are as far as with how they're going against CK. It seemed like CK is getting more of that smoke and she's drained because it's just like, listen, I ain't asked for all this. I already get, flack for just what I put out there, but like this is a bit much. Like she's at a point right now where she's like, it's too much. I don't even know if I'm coming back on YouTube. And as of right now, since I've been on this live, I've checked again. I pretty much daily check to see, since everything broke, to see if her channel's out there. Cause I thought maybe she would speak and do an interview, do something on her own channel, which I think would have been good. But she didn't. She did it on someone else's and a small YouTuber. Like that's the thing too. I'm like, wow. But it was a YouTuber that, has supported her for a minute. And she went on his platform to, talk with him. And, sing CK before she took her platform, her page down. She had over 100,000 subscribers. This gentleman who she's did the interview with, he has like a little over 5,000. He has 5,000 subscribers. And he's growing. I don't know how long. I think he's maybe been around since the top of the year. But she chose to speak with him because, he's a support to her. He always was. So she chose to, to show support to him. And that's commendable because just think about, to me, a story this big, it could have even gone to Tasha K. Really? Like a much bigger, YouTuber. But she didn't even take it to Tanya TKO. But Tanya TKO rocks hard with Cynthia G. So, and Nyla says, so I guess it makes sense why she didn't kind of go to Tanya. But, I'm a subscriber. It's funny, like they're all like against each other and I support all of them. That's just who I am. I support all of them. If you got a message and I rock with you and I follow it, I'm going to support you. I'm not going to judge you off of, okay, somebody else not rocking with you. That's not me. And I wouldn't want to be judged that way. You have to form your own opinions. And period. And that's what I do over here. I speak about my opinions and report the latest, the news. That's what's going on, what's hot out there. You guys let me know in the comments if there's anything that you'd like to hear me touch on, like hot topics or anything out there that's been floating around that you'd like to kind of hear my take on it, or anything you'd like for me to kind of research and look into, because it's always so much going on. But if there's just anything in particular that you're like, okay, I really want to hear what somebody got to say about this, definitely, message me, drop the comments, because I read my comments, and just let me know, and I'll do my best to try to look into the matter and come on and talk about if it's something that like it appears that like people want to hear, because I try to come on here and just talk about things that that have a deep interest, like that people have a strong interest in. And it seemed like this situation with CK and Sanji, people have really been interested in hearing what was going on. Like the first video that I had put out, it had like a lot of views at that time when I put it out. I think I probably was like one of the first people to kind of come on and like really talk about it the way I did. So now if you go out there and do a search, you can find plenty of videos where people talking about it. But I just was interested in just getting that information out and just trying to learn. I wanted to know more about it. So I'm like, okay, let me put this video out there with this information that I got and see if people can bump it up against the information they got, so we can try to make heads of it. And that was just doing all of that without hearing from CK, because that's all I had was, okay, combining information that I was hearing from other content creators. And then from there, I've looked at the comments. People have sent me information. So I jump back on and I do, update videos more, because it was just like, it's been a hot topic for people. And I think a lot of people not really, in particular Black women, they're not really feeling the idea with the two women, going back and forth, as far as with Cynthia and Crystalline. I don't know if you were to look at it from a numbers perspective with what percentage they have of shared subscribers, because I think I would imagine a lot of people support both of them because they both talk about the shortcomings of the Black man. It's just that CK just talks about like divestment and getting in relationships with non-Black men, whereas Cynthia don't really talk like that. She just talked about the shortcoming of the Black man. She don't really go down the line of, exploring an alternative. She did have an interview on there with a white guy, Brian. I think his name was Brian. So Cynthia G had interviewed a white guy, Brian, and she wanted to hear his thoughts on how him being a white man and him being a representation of the white culture, how they viewed Black women. And the opinion he had did not match up to the opinions that we have heard from the Black man. If any of you are familiar with the term Manosphere, those YouTubers that fall underneath the Manosphere, which would be your Kevin Samuels, O'Shea Duke Jackson, Obsidian, the Angry Man. The founding fathers of the Manosphere are O'Shea Duke Jackson, Obsidian, and the Angry Man. So based off of what Brian was saying and would he say they look for in a woman, or the expectations of the woman, like it wasn't lining up. So you guys can probably go out there and find that too yourself on Cindy's page, her interview with Brian. I believe his name is Brian. So I don't know. I know she has a Patreon. So I don't know if that video is still out there for anyone to see, or if she's moved it to her private space. But you can go check that out. But it was just interesting to hear his thoughts, as it pertains to the Black man, and his thoughts as it pertains to the Black woman. Basically, he felt like Black women are overworked and they collectively don't receive enough support from the Black man. And he thinks it's sad. So that's that in a nutshell. And listen, you got to go, check out the video and listen to, what he had to say. It was pretty interesting, but I know a lot of people, in particular Black men, was not here for that video at all. I think after that video happened, her and Tariq Nasheed started going back and forth again. I think he did a whole little music video. He's so crazy about talking about her hair. Every time he attack her, it's always for some reason he goes up towards her hair and say I think he just basically started talking about her hair. It seemed like she says he never attacks her talking points. It's always something like about her hair, or something about her appearance versus her talking points. So to her, that got to say something like, okay, you're not saying I'm lying about anything, you're just deflecting. But Tariq, I follow him too. He's a mess. So, but after she did that video with the white man, like people really started coming for her. Like the Black man was not here for her during that video. Listen, I'm just here to report the news. Part of the responsibility of report is to fact check before sharing. I agree. That's why I feel like when you do put things out there, you have to just put it out there in a matter of which you're putting out there that, hey, this is alleged. We don't know this to be true. We're waiting to get a comment. You know how you'll see news reports say, hey, this is what's been said. We reached out to such and such to request a comment. We still have not, they declined, or they have not gotten back to us, like something along those lines. So, but you're right, Winston. Typically, I don't look at Cynthia G or Tommy Sotomayor's channels because their views are toxic. Yeah. They have definitely strong views. I I don't really look at Tommy Sotomayor's really much. Cynthia G, I'll chime in with hers. I am familiar with Tommy. I don't subscribe to him. I do subscribe to Cynthia G. So she's somebody, you know, I don't listen to her a lot. I am a subscriber of hers, but she's a smart woman. I listen to her. Sometimes, you know, she'll have interesting topics about maybe things that have happened, you know, in the news. If it was typically, she'll just only kind of talk about it if it was something pertaining to a black man and a non-black woman, and it didn't quite work out in his favor. Like, she will kind of report things like that. So, you know, I check her out from here and there. I don't watch her regularly, but I am a subscriber of her channel. Winston, I'm no expert on CK, but to play devil's advocate, she could have just went to him because he was sympathetic and wouldn't ask hard questions. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yep. That's an opinion. So, period. Winston, I mentioned both. So there's one each side of the gender line. Okay, we appreciate that, Winston. Yeah, they're both very extreme. I find Tommy to be more hardcore, more harsh. I mean, Sin go in too, but she doesn't use curse words. Like, her language is it's different. You know, Tommy is no telling what he don't care what he say. So they're very opinionated. They speak with a lot of passion. I can just kind of deal with Sin G more than Tommy, but you know, recently Tommy did do a pretty good interview with the woman who's pregnant with her 18th child. So she has 17 already, but she's pregnant with her 18th child. She was on the news, so I guess he reached out to her. He wanted to interview her, so he did an interview on his platform, and that was a really good interview. Like, it was a good interview. So I'm like, okay, so you guys can probably check that out. But he asked some good questions. It was a good vibe, and you know, it was a good interview. So it was a good look for him. I didn't subscribe after that. I'm like, okay, I'm still watching you, Tommy. But it was a good look for him. It was a very good interview. So I definitely would say go check that out on Tommy Sotomayor's page, the interview with the woman. I can't remember what her name is, but if you go to his page and look at his videos, and that video probably was posted maybe no more than maybe like a week ago, you'll see it's titled pertaining to like one-on-one with the woman who's pregnant with 18th child. I think that woman lives here too. She lives, I think, here in Georgia, in Columbus. In Columbus, Georgia. So it's in Georgia, but it's not exactly near where I'm at. But she's a local. I'm sorry, I'm too distracted by CG's syntheticness, so I can't watch her. Yeah, I mean, she's a lot. I will say she's a lot. I would say I watch her. I don't watch her consistently because sometimes it just depends on. Sometimes I'm in a space where I may want more of a positive vibe. So Sin's that type to where, like, if you like, you know, some people before they get in a boxing match, they listen to their hype music. They might be listening to Tupac or Ice Cube or something. Like, Sin is that one where, like, if you just ready to just get it in and go in, like, okay, I'm about to listen to Sin G so I can get amped up. Like, that's the vibe she give me. So that's why it's like, okay, I can't always listen to her. Sometimes I'll be like, okay, let me see what Sin's talking about. So it just really depends too, sometimes, like, on the topics that she may have. But yeah, she's a lot though. But I personally, you know, find her to be a very smart lady though. Winston, while I hear what you're saying from personal experience, most Black women curse IRL like Tommy does on his stream, if not more. I do hear that. I was just using just Sin G as an example. Since you had mentioned her. But yeah, the Black women be going in. Nyla says Nyla says will say some things. I say, if you a man talking to Nyla Says, you better be secure in your manhood, because no telling what she gonna say. What she gonna say? But Nyla Says mouth, like, she goes in, she goes harsh like that. So she's also someone, I gotta be in that space. I really too much don't listen to Nyla Says on her platform. I listen to her more so like when she's on Cynthia G and they're kind of talking together. I noticed that Cynthia G is actually not as amped when she has other people on her platform talking with her. Like the Manosphere and Nyla Says. So mostly, I guess, if I am a lot of times listening to Cynthia G, is probably when it's more of a, like, there's other ladies on there who's speaking with Cynthia G. They all seem to be kind of less amped when they're talking amongst each other versus like when they're just doing their own things on their platform. So, it's not as intense, I'd say. Okay. Syntheticness. Got it. I just heard Seeking Freedom. I just heard the Clubhouse audio and wow. Listen. Yeah. Like I said, y'all check it out. Just check it out for yourself. Spread the word. Like, listen, if you're interested in facts, the truth, here, listen to this, because that's all you can do. All I can say is, y'all listen. I heard this. Go check it out for yourself. See if it changes your views or anything, because I'm not here to change anyone's views. I'm just here to report the information and get you to kind of thinking about the situation more, or maybe in a different light, and to just hear different opinions about the matter. Winston, he goes live Saturday through Monday nights. Who goes live Saturday through Monday nights? Who are you talking about, Winston? But yeah, go check that out. I mean, I don't know. I don't really frequent Clubhouse that much. I've gone on there. It's been a while. I think the last time I was on there, I was on the platform with, if you guys are familiar with, Leandria TV. She's another YouTuber that I follow. She does great work with stats. Winston, are you familiar with Leandria? You seem to be like, with one that's into research and things like that. Leandria, her name's Leah. She go by Leah. She a lot of times her commentary consists of like statistics pertaining to like things within like our cultural group. She's a larger YouTuber. She's got maybe about 60,000 subscribers, but very smart lady. She's recently started collaborating with Clubhouse. So I've gone on there once and got on her stage. Actually, that was the very first time I got on someone's stage. I was in there with her and it was a great collaboration. Good energy. So that's Leandria TV. You guys check her out. Leandria TV. She's been around for a minute. So, but she don't speak the language that people may want to hear. So with that being said, I think it's kind of made her platform not grow leaps and bounds, but she is growing, but she says a lot of information that, it's hard to swallow. Like I said, she backs it with, her research and things. She loves to research. So check out Leandria TV. Look at the previous comment. Let me see. Are you talking about Tommy? Okay, while I hear what you're saying, right? Like Tommy does on his live stream. And now, okay. So you're talking about Tommy. Okay. Got it. I don't know. So Leandria, she spell it Lea, and then I think Andria, and then TV. Lee, and then the word Andrea TV all together. Her name's Leah. She goes by Leah. So I'm assuming her full name is Leandria. So yeah, Lea and then capital Andria TV. Try that and see if it comes up. But yeah, check her out. She goes live. Like she goes live a lot. Let me see if yep. I just typed it up. Leaandrea TV. She goes live very often. So she's pretty active on YouTube. She covers a lot of celebrity content. And then she talked a lot about just the Black community, Black women. I guess you can probably categorize her as a Black divester as well. So she's not as harsh. She pretty much don't really be on there talking harshly about Black men, but like I said, for the most part, all of her content, like she's including like statistical data, like she's kind of going down that lane, to support like the views that she has. She does a lot of that. Whereas like me, I'll do a statistic video, but for the most part, when I come on here, it's not that deep for me to kind of be going into the numbers. But if I'm doing search and it's something pertaining to, if I know I'm going to do a topic, like when I want to know who's having children more, Black men or women, I have to pull the data. So that's going to be more statistic related where I'm showing you numbers. But most of my videos aren't on that level. It's just we're just talking and kind of going from there. But Leah does a lot with numbers. Very smart lady. So Winston, definitely check her out. Most of the content creators I follow are about using the numbers to inform their talking points. Yeah. So if you're that numbers kind of person, like Leah's going to show that. But like I said, I don't know if she does use the term divest. So I believe, she would categorize as a divester. She definitely is like one that is like not interested really with dating the Black man. And, she talks about her reasoning of why. So you just got to go, check her out and hear what she has to say. I don't know what her live schedule is because most of the time I don't really catch her lives. I'll do a playback. So I don't know if she's on a schedule or if she's kind of random like me. I'm not on a schedule. Listen, y'all lucky if I do hey, set your reminder. Like I've been trying to do better with kind of pre-scheduling things, but sometimes I'll just jump on, if I got something to say. So that's why I say set your, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you'll know if I just kind of jump on. But, I live a busy life, so I try to get it in how I can. Maybe one day I'll be able to be more consistent. But right now I just get it how I live over here, y'all. I was talking about Black men being brutally honest. Yeah. Who else is brutally honest? There's a few of them out there. Some I don't know their names because I might who's brutally, I think is it Professor Jap? Is that his name? There's a YouTuber. Does that sound familiar? I think he's maybe part of Manosphere. He's very harsh. There's a couple of them that I might come across, but most of the Manosphere, like I don't like subscribe to them. Some of them I do, but it just depends on, your tone. Like, listen, I'm not into the ones that's just going in all out, being real harsh. Like I'm all for your opinion, but if you just calling me, out my name, like that's just on the whole. Listen, I can't do it. So it's just, about the delivery from me. So, you just go to spaces where you're most comfortable. So, that's what I do. I go to spaces where I'm most comfortable. And I think that's what most of us do. And period. So I like to, support different content creators as I've done tonight. I've shared at least 2 or 3 names of content creators for you guys to kind of go check out because they're, creators that I checked out to back, to support the things that I'm on here talking about. So, that's what you do, under supporting them, listening to other content creators. It just helps to expand my thoughts on things, to look at things differently. As I've said, Winston, like you'll have a different view of things than I do. And that is okay. I welcome that. I hope you're subscribed. But that's what it's all about. We're just trying to learn from one another. Yeah. Yeah, we're just trying to, we're just here. I'm here just to learn, and I want you all to learn from one another as well. And when there's somebody out there that you like, support them. If you see somebody out there that's just getting the business, getting it handed to them like CK, go out there and show support. Let her know, like, hey, like I'm here. It's like, I hear what you're saying. And I hope that you have better days, because she's going through it. And with these tough climates that we got going on, like, we don't need nothing else added. Like, we in a whole pandemic still, so it's too much. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot. She's a parent. She's divorced, so I mean, she's dealing with a lot already. So this is just like a whole another layer, and I'm sure her relationship has taken a hit from it. So I haven't heard anything, from Mr. E. I don't know if there's any plans with him coming out and speaking to tell his side, because I personally don't feel like now that there's anything he needs to come out and apologize for, since according to the recordings that's on that other content channel that I mentioned, he didn't say the N word. So I guess, him coming out, yes, he don't really have to. So I just still think that it's just a better practice for people to kind of separate their business from their personal lives. If it's not just a platform where, okay, you and your spouse, like you see a lot of family platforms where that's very popular. They have like a lot of followers. I guess people like to know what's going on in people's lives and their families and all of that. So that's different if you came on the scene and that was what your brand was made of. But that wasn't a situation with Crystalline. Like, her brand was just her and her, being into white men. So then she just suddenly switched the gears and wanted to incorporate her new white man. And hopefully, maybe if she do come back, she just like, you know what, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna try to, go back to trying to separate her personal, life from her business, if she's able to do that. If she can, do you guys think that she can actually do that? Can she go back to when she would still talk her talk, but leave her man out of it? I mean, because we all know who he is, but let's just say if they broke up or whatever, like what if she just never told us? Like, just go back to just doing your business, because it's like we didn't really hear from the husband when she was married to him. And I heard from someone in one of my comments on the video saying he wasn't interested in being on social media. So I mean, she still got to her subscriber count, based off of not having him incorporated into her little situation. So we see that she can grow with just herself. Like, I don't feel like people coming running over there to her channel to see Mr. E. People like her. So, I mean, Mr. E is just somebody we just kind of got introduced to. I don't even know if it's been a full 2 months, maybe 2 months at best. Like, he ain't been around on the scene like that. So I feel like, she might want to consider, if she do come back, just like keeping that part of her life separate to protect her and him, because now this is, impacted his life too. Like, this false information got him out here looking like a whole racist. Like, people like side-eyeing him because people was like for Mr. E. Like, people in her comments, they thought, he was a good man. He seemed to make her happy. They post these pictures together. And now, fast forward to today, the narrative is that he referred to black women as N-words. Like, like, what the heck? How we get from them booed up in pictures on photo shoots to her doing interviews talking about or trying to clear up rumors about him using the N-word? Like, how we get here? Like, he ain't been on the scene. We still in the summer. Mr. E came on the scene this summer. Like, we still in the summer, and Mr. E, he ain't even got to the fall with being able to keep his name intact. He new to the social media streets, and his name already been ran through the mud, So, like I say, it's hard out here. Like, when you choose to put yourself, out here, like, you take a chance. So, as me, I'm taking a chance with putting myself out here, and it's a chance I'm taking, but I'm trying to play like very safe because it's important for me to protect my peace, my family peace. So in order to do that, I feel like I got to move with some type of integrity. I got to, preserve my name, my brand. Um, I don't want to lose myself in all of this. So I got to stay true to who I am. So that may or may not result in a lot of supporters because, people like the madness, but that's not who I am. So I'm going to be me. And as I be me, I just trust that people will come with that same energy. People who have that positive energy will gravitate towards me because that's basically how I've moved through life. People with positive energy gravitates me. I don't live a drama-filled life. So I want that experience to be the same when it comes to YouTube, period. If you could like, share, subscribe. I just really want to get the video out, get the supporters, get the conversation going, spread the word about like the updates pertaining to, the latest update pertaining to the drama with Crystalline and Mr. E. Share that information, y'all. Like, it does you no good to sit on it. So share it. I ask that you share it. But I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I thank you for joining in. Like, share, subscribe, hit that bell. And until the next broadcast, peace.